Well, Nastradamus-Richardson is back with us. I don't know whether you watched the Eden-Monaro coverage the other night. It was here on Sky News. And Richo struggled to get his point across. He kept on saying, hang on a minute, because everyone wanted to say the Liberal Party had won. Peter Credlin also was quite smart, saying, don't imagine that the postal votes will go the same way as they went at last election. Well, Richo was proven right. He's joined us and he'll be with us every week. Richo, how are you, my friend? Nostradamus.
I don't know about Nostradamus. You didn't need to be a genius to work it out, you know, but a lot of people get carried away on the night and just miss the obvious. And it seemed to me that was pretty obvious, Alan.
Graham, just one point here, and there's been so much written about this. If Dr. Kelly's, the Dr. Kelly personal vote in Eden-Monaro, many people said was 2 or 3%, and if Labor only held it by 0.9, on the maths, shouldn't that have been a Liberal win?
I think that neither side can take much out of it. The first preference result for both parties was not good. And no one can walk away saying we're red-hot favourites for the next election after that.
How much does the fact that there were 14 candidates, though, affect the first preference vote?
Dramatically, Alan. There's obviously, when the general election comes, there won't be 14 candidates. There'll be flat out being 4. And at that point, you know, I think Labor gets a bit more favouritism. But, you know, when there's 14 candidates, obviously you're going to lose a lot. Everyone's got friends and relatives, and so the major parties do suffer a bit. Then the votes are supposed to come back.
One thing,
and fortunately for Labor, they did.
One thing that hasn't gained a lot of comment, the Greens were thrashed. This was the mob who wanted to say that the bushfires were about climate change, vote for us, we'll change all of this, and there they were decimated. Is that likely to be a federal trend?
I think so. I think Adam Bant is the weakest leader they've had.
Correct.
I don't think he gets any message across, this bloke. He's hopeless. And I think they are going backwards by the day. And of course, you know, when you say, well, they should change leader, what do? Give it to Sarah Hanson-Young? That'd be smart. No, there's no good way for the future for them.
Just tell me this. You're a circus. Is Albo going to lead the Labor Party at the next federal election?
Definitely. I see no way that he'd be
Is that what you say? When you're having a Chinese meal with your mates, is that what you say?
Yeah. I don't see any chance of Albo being knocked off. I mean, no, seriously, I just don't. The mood is not there to knock him off.
Okay.
Daniel Andrews. You need a pretty big mood. You also need a leader of a push, and there's no one around.
Okay.
What about Andrews?
What about him?
Well, I mean, he's proved himself to be a pretty remarkable vote winner over the years. Now he's taken a pretty bold step here at the moment, and I think he's staked his future on it. But I don't think you can make the judgment on that today. He generally speaking gets things right, Alan, so I'm not prepared to back against him yet. No,
well, of course, the right are in disarray, aren't they? So he's most probably fairly safe. But I understand there are people in his own faction who'd be quite happy to have him out of the way, but he's got some problems on his hands. Now, listen, when are we going to have our MSG?
Oh, mate, you are one of the greatest no-shows of all time. You threaten to turn up, but you never do, you bugger. I do not believe you'll come. So there you go.
I can't find.
You're hopeless.
I can't find my way to the workers' cottage out there. I tell you what, the tie's smart. What about the tie?
Off.
How good's the tie?
I'm glad you appreciate the tie.
You're very sartorial. Hey, well done. You did well Saturday night.
If you would just follow the lead here, I could get you some good ties.
Are they gifts, are they? We'll see you next week. You're a good man. All right,
okay,
Richo.
Mate.